muzzling democracy.
Canada turning its back on me.
I've never been affected by peer pressure.
What is Justin Trudeau up to? He's the Prime Minister of Canada. His job is to create consensus. If truckers are resisting him, he must reach out to them. Instead, Trudeau fled. Is he in a war bunker? Is he getting a haircut, wavy hair or not?
I've never been affected by peer pressure.
The situation, he said, is concerning. We are all very worried about family and friends. Let me remind you, Canada will always be there to defend the rights of peaceful protesters. We believe in the process of dialogue. We've reached out through multiple means to the Indian authorities to highlight our concerns. If only we could get this message to Trudeau's secret cubbyhole.
I've never been affected by peer pressure. Never.
I'm not saying the situation in Ottawa is not challenging. The protests are certainly daunting, but there hasn't been violence. So far, the protests have been peaceful. So why hasn't Prime Minister Trudeau reached out to the protesters? Where is the process of dialogue? Is he getting a haircut? Actually, forget dialogue. Why not release a statement or at least a tweet? It's not like Trudeau got logged out of the internet.
I've never been affected by peer pressure. Never.
Here's something he retweeted today. He's celebrating a football victory. Canada's men's football team beat the Americans. I'm sure it's a big deal for Canada. But is it more important than these pictures? Thousands of truckers camping in the national capital. Temperature minus 20 degrees Celsius.
I've never been affected by peer pressure.
Yes. Trudeau may disagree with their views. So do we. But his response is two-faced. When the protests happened in India, it's the government's fault. The cops are tyrants. The ministers are unresponsive. But when the protests happen in Canada, the narrative changes. Guess what Trudeau calls these truckers? A small fringe minority holding unacceptable views. His words.
I've never been affected by peer pressure.
Well, that's precisely what the Indian government also said, that the farmer protests were being organized by a minority. The similarities don't end there. Like all protests, this one too needs financial support. So where is that money coming from? Online campaigns. Around 33% of the donors are anonymous. No names, no address. Canada's intelligence agencies say they suspect a foreign hand. They say the truckers could be getting money from abroad. Again, that's precisely what happened in India. Khalistani elements penetrated the protests. Funds were flowing in from abroad, some said. But in 2020, Trudeau did not care. He wanted to protect his vote bank in Canada. So he dived into the internal affairs of a sovereign country. Today, when he faces a similar situation, he flees. He pretends like nothing is happening.
I've never been affected by peer pressure.
And the Canadian media is playing along. Here's what the CBC is reporting, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, CBC. After 2 days of protests, Ottawa residents are feeling the effects. Some workers and volunteers say they're worried about safety. Does this sound familiar to you? The same thing happened during the farmers' protest in India. Major highways were blocked. On Republic Day, New Delhi was overrun by tractors. But criticizing that was apparently insensitive. If you condemn that, you are muzzling democracy. I guess it only applies to New Delhi, not to Ottawa or Vancouver or Montreal. I'm not saying, I'm saying he should stick by his own words. He should reach out to, what if the protesters resort to violence? What if they disrupt daily life? Even then, Trudeau must follow his own words, talks and dialogue. Remember, that's what he asked India to do. People here could not take the highway anymore. Normal life was being disrupted. Only then did authorities intervene. But back then, Justin Trudeau lectured the government of India on how to handle the farmers. This whole controversy is a lesson for all self-righteous leaders out there. Stop meddling in the affairs of other countries. And if you do, make sure you hold yourself to the same standard. If not, you're just a hypocrite, wavy hair or not.
Does he have any plans to bring some resolution to the situation that's going on right now outside?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
I've never been affected by peer pressure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to begin by recognizing the member for Durham and thanking him for his service. There is a lot we don't agree on because they're asking for more than we are able to give right now. Stepped up to serve his country, and I want to thank him for his sacrifice of what is a very, very difficult life for even the most successful of us. In regards to the vaccine mandates, we had an election on those 6 months ago.
I've never been affected by peer pressure. Never.
you know. So, again, my question is, what veterans were you talking about? Was it the ones that fought for the freedoms and values that you so proudly boast about, or was it the ones who fought against? Because honestly, Mr. Prime Minister, I was prepared to be injured in the line of duty when I joined the military. Nobody forced me to join the military. I was prepared to be killed in action. What I wasn't prepared for, Mr. Prime Minister, is Canada turning its back on me. So which veteran was it that you were talking about?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your passion and your strength and being here today to share this justifiable frustration and anger. Why are we still fighting against certain veterans groups in court?
I've never been affected by peer pressure.
Because they are asking for more than we are able to give right now. We like drink box water bottles.